What can Tyler Herro do next season to elevate his game and make an impact for the Miami Heat? We'll find out in today's episode.
Long shot.
Welcome back to the Team to Be Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. We're pushing to 2,000 subscribers, so if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. So it's time to pod, y'all. So for today's episode, I want to talk about Tyler Herro and what he can do next season to help improve his game, elevate his game, and ultimately help this Miami Heat contend for a championship or just have a better season next season, or we're not a playing team for the third season in a row. And it's not just on Tyler Herro. It's obviously on Jimmy. It's obviously on Bam. It's obviously on Terry Rozier. But he is a big piece of this puzzle. He could be a missing piece of this puzzle. And so I want to talk about what he can do next season. So we know Tyler Herro has proven that he is a talented scorer and he is a key component of this Miami Heat team. And like any other player, we know there's room for growth and improvement, especially for someone who's only 24 years old. So Tyler Herro is probably the most polarizing Miami Heat player on this team outside of Jimmy Butler. But I feel like more fans love Jimmy Butler, obviously, for helping carry this team to 2 championship runs and 3 Eastern Conference finals with limited help with undrafted players. So we all love Jimmy Butler for the most part. But Tyler Herro, on the other hand, you have the folks who are Tyler stans who are obsessed with Tyler. They can never criticize him or doubt him or say anything negative about him whatsoever. And then there's Tyler haters who thinks he's absolutely trash. They think we should trade him. They don't think he has any room for growth or improvement. And then there's people that are neutral, which I think are just normal Miami Heat fans like myself who are in the middle. Like I criticize Tyler Herro for his bad play, and then if he has good play, of course, I'm gonna praise him and give him kudos for when he does play well. But again, just like any other player, he can be scrutinized. And one of the biggest issues with Tyler Herro so far in his career has been health. So he's 24 years old, like I mentioned. He's never played more than 67 games in a season, which is pretty bad for someone who's that young. So last year he played 42 games. Year before that was the most he's ever played, 67. Then he played 66 and then 54 and 55. So he's consistently missing 15 to 40 games per season. And we need him on the court. Like his best ability is availability. And we need him to be on this court so he can improve. He needs to get the reps. We all know, again, like he's a dynamic scorer, averaged 21 points per game last season. He's averaged 20 points per game the last 3 seasons in a row. But 3 seasons ago, when he was 22, coming off the bench, won the 6-man award, that was his best season for sure, I would say. Um, he shot 40% from 3, shot 86% from the free throw line. He had his best field goal percentage of his career, shooting almost 45%. He got to the free throw line round up to 3 times. That number's gone down, which is somewhere he needs to improve big time. He averaged 2.9 free throw attempts that 6th man of the year year. And, last season was only 2.3, the year before that 2.5. So it's been going down. So that's an area for improvement. But the good thing about Tyler Herro, though, is he has a big hard work ethic. So he does put in the effort. He is known for caring. It might seem like he doesn't, but he is a gym rat. And so this offseason, Herro has been putting in the work. And I'm happy to see that. Like, of course he should be doing that. He's a basketball player. Like, he should be working on his craft, of course. But either way, there was a video on Twitter that showed Tyler training, and they were trying to focus on his off-ball movement and his three-point shooting, his catch and shoot three-point shooting. And last year, I forgot the number, but it was in the 40s, maybe 43%. He was 43% on catch and shoot threes. So this could be a crucial area for him to improve on. So it's good to see that he's doing that. So he's working on that off-ball movement, as we saw in the video. And Herro's nailing shot after shot during this offseason workout. And I think if he does continue to play off ball and he becomes a better off ball player, works on his mobility and movement, and finds ways to get open without the ball in his hands, it's going to allow him to be a more versatile scorer. It's going to help him create new opportunities when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. We know that Terry Rozier also needs the ball in his hands, and him and Terry are pretty redundant when it comes to their skill set. So Terry, I think, needs the ball in his hands more than Tyler does. And so it's good to see how he's, constantly moving, trying to find open spaces and working on that off ball ability to make him a bigger threat on the floor next season. So um, the other area that I want to talk about how Tyler Herro can help impact the Miami Heat next season is with his playmaking and ball handling ability. So we know that Tyler has shown flashes of being a good secondary playmaker, and he's shown flashes of handling the ball well, but he's not perfect at either. So, um, he depends on Bam Adebayo a lot, I believe, in terms of actually getting downhill to the paint and to the cup. So he needs the screen to get that traction. And I think he needs to work on his handles so that he can actually get by defenders without that screen. But again, playmaking, though, he has been improving his ability as a passer. He does turn the ball over quite a bit. 2.2 is not horrible. His assist ratio is 2-1, not spectacular, but he's not a point guard. So he averaged 4.5 assists to 2.2 turnovers. So he can be careless sometimes with the ball in his hands. He can get caught up in the air and throws passes which can be intercepted or have been intercepted. So I think that is an area he needs to work on. So working on his handles will help him navigate, like I said, through defenses more efficiently without that screen, leading for him to get to the cup more, so he doesn't have to rely on that floater as much. If he can get to the rim, take the contact, and either get to the free throw line and up those free throws from 2.3 to somewhere like 4 or 5 like attempts, which is not a crazy amount per game, that can help elevate his game. But again, he just needs to be able to try to get to the rim versus relying on that floater, which can be dangerous. And we saw what happened last season where he landed on someone's ankle during the Memphis game, ended up missing 20 something games. Luckily, he came back for the playoffs, but we all know what happened to the Miami Heat then. The other area I think he needs to improve on is his defense, which is obvious. He's been hunted a lot in his career. He's, not completely undersized. He's 6'5", but he's not a big guy. So defenses, especially superstars and stars and all-stars, target him on the defensive end. So that's a key area for Herro. So he has been improving his defense, though, so I'm not going to knock him down completely. But I think this offseason Herro should be focusing on his lateral quickness as well as his defensive awareness. I think he's become better when it comes to rotations. But he needs to be able to guard multiple positions, which can earn him more playing time and allow him to be a closer. So we saw at times he wouldn't close out games because of his defense, but his offense outweighs his defense, in my opinion. So you do need him out there as someone who has shown the ability of being clutch, especially in the fourth quarter. Last piece is strength and conditioning. Again, he's not the biggest guy. He's been targeted and picked on defensively, but I think he needs to work on his strength because that can help him perhaps be less injury prone. He's prone to injury. He's always hurt, like I mentioned. 67 games is the most he's played in a season. That's not great. But I think if he builds his strength and endurance, that'll help him stay healthy to perform at a high level throughout the season. Again, he's already been putting in work in the gym. So, and we saw like he does bulk up during the offseason typically. It's hard to sustain that during a 82 game season where you're constantly traveling and on the road and obviously practicing. So he has the willingness. That's really all that really matters. So it's gonna be interesting to see Tyler Herro next season in this crucial year. Every year is a prove it year for him. Every year is a bounce back year for him. He's been in trade rumors for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Every single season, people are saying that his trade value is down. I know this guy is like all over social media. He's reading the articles. He's listening to the podcast. So he hears this. And he has an ego. He has confidence. And I'm sure he's pissed off. And if Tyler can improve as an off-ball player. I think that's going to be huge because obviously Terry Rozier needs the ball in his hands. Jimmy needs the ball in his hands. He's a good playmaker as well, same as Bam Adebayo. Nikola Jovic can help in transition off the glass if he's going to be starting next season next to Bam Adebayo. So he's someone who's a good playmaker as well. So we have a lot of good playmakers on the court, which can make Tyler Herro's life a lot easier by him just catching and shooting, essentially. Of course, he can create his own shot. Of course, Tyler Herro is probably our second best three-level scorer. I mean, third, technically. Jimmy should be our first or even second. Probably Terry's our best three-level scorer at this point because he's younger than Jimmy. But Tyler is one of our top three-level scorers. And so he needs to just work on all the things I mentioned, but also on efficiency. So he needs to be consistent as well, where you can't have a 10-point game and then a 20-point game and then an 8-point game and then a 15-point game and then a 25-point game. Like, we need him to constantly and consistently get us anywhere from 17 to like 22 points. That's what we need from him this next season if the Miami Heat want to be successful and avoid the play-in for the third time in a row. So anyway, that's all I have on this video. Let me know what you guys think about Tyler Herro's offseason training. Do you think he's going to have a bounce-back year finally? Or do you think the Miami Heat are going to trade him at some point next season? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.